Alrighty, and wow, I definitely did not see this coming. So today, it was announced a couple hours ago, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people have already got this news that Javier Marschano has stepped down as the head coach of Inter Miami, and apparently the reason why they decided to step down is personal reason. But there's already a lot of speculation that is going on whether or not if this is actually him just decided to resign, or the fact that the club itself basically kind of forced him to resign, or in other words, it seems like he was actually fired, but the club doesn't want to admit the fact that they, of course, decided to fire their head coach after just 7 games into the season. Now, obviously, with all the speculation that is going on, and if indeed the club decided to fire him, even though they didn't really quite say it, I mean, I can kind of maybe understand why this is the case. I mean, I know a lot of people will think this is absolutely insane. The fact that a team just coming off of an MLS Cup winning campaign, and are also not doing that bad right now in the beginning of the season, even though I know the way that they play so far, it's definitely not been inspiring whatsoever. But they're still third in the Eastern Conference right now. They're actually only a point uh behind Chicago right now. So if they can win their next game and Chicago drop points, then all of a sudden they find themselves in second position. And if I also not mistaken, I think they're about 4 or 5 points back of Nashville SC as well. So they're still within touching distance, at least to finish at the top of the East, as many people have predicted. But, as I said before, this is Inter Miami. This is a club that has a lot of ambition. This is a club that there's a reason why in the beginning of the season when I did the emotion index, or not the emotion index, I'm sorry, but the hot seat index, looking at the head coaches and whether or not if they're on the hot seat or not, I still put Javier Mascherano at the very top of the list. I usually don't put teams that won MLS Cup and a manager that, of course, managed a team of a MLS Cup at the very top of the list very often. But the reason why I say it is because the expectation of Inter Miami is completely different than what your normal MLS club. The expectation of this team is through the roof. If you don't perform and you don't win trophy, and especially you don't able to get it done in the one competition that they really took very seriously, which the CONCACAF Champions Cup was the one competition they really took it seriously. Even their president Jorge Mas have mentioned that he really wants to get this team to have a go at this competition because it's really one of the last competition that Inter Miami have not won so far, and the fact that they got knocked out by Nashville SC in the first round, yeah, that definitely upset sets a lot of the front office, and even David Beckham and Jorge Mas himself. And then add to the fact that in these first two game in their brand new stadium, the fact that they still have not able to get a win in their first two game as well, despite the fact that they also haven't lost so far. They had a pair of 2-2 draw so far in these first two games. You just kind of had sense maybe that's when the not only the writings is on the wall, but that's when the incredibly short lease that we expect from Inter Miami when it comes to the front office and their head coaches has finally reached to a boiling point. Now, obviously, that's just speculation that maybe that's kind of the reason why he was let go. There's obviously speculation, the fact that indeed it is personal reason, maybe the fact that I think for Javier Mascherano, he kind of realized that the pressure of this job has got to him, and I don't blame him. This is his first head coaching gig, at least in the senior level. I know he, of course, coached in the Olympic team with Argentina, but this is completely different compared to coaching in the senior level at that is, and it just feels like the pressure seems like has kind of got a toll on him that he maybe needs to step back a bit. But whatever reason it is, all we know now is that Javier Mascherano is no longer the head coach of Inter Miami, and it's hard to believe the defending MLS Cup champion just a couple of months ago, lifting that famous old trophy, now does not have a head coach for these next couple of games, or maybe even in these next couple of months. Now, there's no doubt that I think they're going to eventually find a replacement for him, and there's already a lot of speculation on what the replacement is. The one speculation of the replacement is Wilfred Nancy, because apparently it feels like every single team that doesn't have a head coach right now is already linked with Wilfred Nancy, and I have no doubt that Wilfred Nancy seems like he might be able to get himself back into MLS, especially I know he said that he wants to take a break for a bit after that disastrous kind of reign doing his time with Celtic. But there's no doubt that I think he's gonna be back coaching an MLS team, especially bringing the formula that was just so successful during his time with Columbus. Don't know if it might really worked out with Inter Miami, if that of course is the case. And then there's also talks of the fact that maybe they might even go get someone even bigger names in terms of these MLS retread that we seems to get itself. Imagine if they get Neville back to this team. I mean, imagine if the Timbers decide to fire Phil Neville any given time in these next couple of weeks if the Timbers doesn't perform and they brought him back to Inter Miami. I'm pretty sure Inter Miami fans are gonna be putting pitchfork in front of their new stadium, and I'm pretty sure Messi is basically demanding a transfer request as soon as possible because yeah, I have a feeling Villanova is not gonna be anywhere close of getting his second chance with Inter Miami. But obviously, they have been linked with some other bigger names. One name that I can think that instantly that could definitely take charge of this team, and this is very similar to why they decided to make Javier Marschano as the head coach of Inter Miami, because Messi wants to bring some of his Barcelona teammate and some of his good friend in there. Well, another good friend of him during his time with Barcelona is none other than Xavi. I do think that there could be a chance that Xavi might have a chance to maybe coach this team. I know some people also say Luis Enrique, but I doubt Luis Enrique is gonna leave PSG after the end of the season. But Xavi is available, and there could be a chance that I think that he might be the guy to do so. I mean, it fits the profile as well. Former Barcelona player. It seems like that's what Inter Miami are gunning for, or they're kind of gunning for Messi friends in the national team in Argentina as well. But you also add to the fact that Xavi has had his time in terms of coaching. Unlike Mascherano, he actually have coached in the senior level. He did coach Barcelona recently as well, and this might be an opportunity to see Xavi maybe come to MLS and maybe coach this team as well. Especially, I thought that was probably one of the more popular kind of coaching candidate when Inter Miami was looking for a manager to replace Tata Martino. So yeah, we'll see whether or not if that is going to be the case. Another name that I think people also throw out is Zinedine Zidane. I don't know if Zidane is going to come to this team. I mean, I know Zidane is another big name, but it kind of feels like Inter Miami, whoever their next head coach is, it's probably going to be a big name, and it's probably going to come from either from Barcelona or Argentina. I mean, their replacement right now, Guillermo Hoyos, he's kind of been best friends of Messi as well for a very long time. So maybe he might even have a shot of being the permanent head coach, even though he's now only on an interim basis. But either way, this should be very interesting to see how the storyline would be heading in these next couple weeks or in these next couple months because yeah, I mean I know Javier Mascherano there was going to be sense that maybe he's not going to stay with this team for very long, especially with the amount of expectation that if it's not met, I wouldn't be surprised he would have been fired at the end of the season. I definitely did not expect in the beginning of the season. That is, I definitely didn't see this coming with the way that he decided to step down just 7 game into the season itself, and now for Inter Miami, it's going to be interesting to see who, of course, they will pick as their next head coach, or maybe make Lionel Messi as the next head coach. He can be a player coach. I mean, after all, he pretty much made a lot of the decision and kind of calling the shots when it comes to who can play for Inter Miami and who can't play for this team out after all. But either way, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure you guys leave a like, smash the subscribe button, and yeah, I of course will see you guys next time.